You're welcome inside the locker room on a Monday morning. Yes, the 14th day of July, 2025. It's 16 minutes past 8 a.m. Smooth 98.1 Love Music, Love Life. Welcome along to the best show on radio where sport is concerned. It's going to be an amazing roller coaster ride as it always is. We'll take a look at the stories. Analysis will follow. Your thoughts, contributions, banter, everything is welcome on this side of the woods. My name is Ayokunmi, and it's going to be a lot of things for us to actually talk about this morning, from football to tennis, you name it. It's all right here in the locker room. Joining me to take a look at the stories and break it all down. This week, it's going to be a different approach to matters. Itega is going to be off for the week. She has some things to do to uh, bring some richness when she's coming back. But this week, I'm being joined by the one and only Mr. Deep himself, Kehinde Idris. Very good morning to you, Kehinde. Great to have you on the show.
Good to join you, Yomiko. Fantastic. Followed the show, a couple of times, and you guys are doing a great job. And the world of sport, like we say, never settles, never rests. So this weekend gave us some magic.
I'm telling you, it was a weekend full of ups and downs,
Yeah.
upsets, if I can also put it as well. And
Yes.
we'll dive into all of that. And you out there listening to us right now, you get to share in all the excitement, all the drama, everything that we're doing in the locker room today. So send your messages into us on WhatsApp. Join us on the live stream on YouTube. The WhatsApp number is 0809 440 981. YouTube, you can find us at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Get your messages coming in. We love to hear from you all the time. All right, Kenny, let's begin talking about WAFCON. Now, Nigeria took top spot in Group B at the WAFCON following a nil-nil draw against Algeria in their final game on Sunday in the group. Now, that's a game they dominated but were unable to find a winning goal. That game ended
Yeah.
nil-nil. It was a disappointing nil-nil draw because it was expected that the Falcons would dispatch the Algerian women. A lot of shots, a lot of opportunities, but they just could not find the net. And this is beginning to create a worrying pattern that the Falcons have issues scoring goals.
Yeah. I think we had that worry before, the WAFCON, but in the very first game against Tunisia, after they banged in 3 goals, we thought, okay, this might be solved. But, playing Botswana, that's that ugly scene reared its head again, where we had to search and search and search up until late part of the game before
Yeah.
Jesus stepped up. To get that 1 goal. But like we always say, there is never, one part to winning a game. There are several ways to winning a football match. There are several ways to winning a championship. And maybe we should just allow the coach continue to handle hostilities the way he's doing in the final game against Algeria. Firstly, so many players were rested. So, because you don't want to risk players, you still have competitive game, come the knockout round. So you rested a bit of a player, but we still saw chances created and not converted. And
Mm.
also, I was listening, when I think 2 Fridays ago, when you're talking about, Mission X and the way the players are locked in, they really understood the message and they want to give their all. And yes, they started like a house on fire for the first time after the first 2 games. The Super Falcons, since 1998, won 2 games on the trot in the group stages without conceding a goal. They did that in the third game, but the difference is, for 1998, they won all 3 without
Right.
conceding.
Right.
This time, they won 2, drew 1, but they still did not concede. And then also, in the last 12 editions, this is the 13th edition. In the last 12 editions, the Super Falcons have always won their final group game. But this time, they couldn't win it. So it has ended that streak of, you must win, your third games. But this is Mission X. We had a feeling that things might be a little different from the usual, but whether it's stumbling or smooth path, whichever way, get to the final, get the trophy, and yes, there is a whole lot, to be done. But favor was done for Algeria. If we had beaten Algeria yesterday, we'll be talking about a different story for Algeria. But Nigeria drew and Algeria, had the luck because Tunisia lost to Botswana, who had only managed 3 points. So Algeria ending with 4 points, which is fantastic for them. So, sometimes you look at it from this side, it's a 6. You look at it from this side, it's a 9. From the Nigerian perspective, not good. From the Algerian perspective, they are happy. They have moved to the next phase. So, the coach had said, all we want to do is concentrate on the next game. The next game is the most important. Like they say, if you have to get to the final, you must play well in the group stages, get to the quarters, the semi-final, and all of that. So you don't just jump from the first game all the way to the final. So the Super Falcons, I think I'm loving how they are going about their game. As much as I've got worries, I've said something to some colleagues and also on some platform that I've not seen proper fluidity, proper cohesion, synergy from the Super Falcons. And now I think we'll need every of those in our next game, because it's been confirmed we'll be playing Zambia, who finished second in Group B. So Zambia, last time out, they helped us to not be on the podium because in the third place match, Zambia won and we finished fourth. That was a hard one to chew. It was a tough one to take, but we took it. Probably we learned, and then we're back now. Now the test is here. There is still Barbara Banda in that team who wasn't part of the Zambian team that beat us in the third place match in the last competition. So we have a very, very hard nut to crack on our hands. What will we do? I think our fingers are crossed as Nigerians, but we kind of trust the Super Falcons.
We trust the Super Falcons, and hopefully it'll be one of those situations where the performances get better and better from the group stage going forward. Fingers are crossed in that regard.
Exactly.
Now, still talking about the WAFCON very quickly, let's talk about the Banyana. I mean, they'll be hoping for a much improved performance and a chance to secure top place in their group when they beat Mali in Uja on today in the last round of matches. I mean, South Africa and Mali locked on 4 points apiece, and it's looking like both teams will make it through to the next one, unless Tanzania and Ghana are able to, do something and hope that one of those teams slip up.
Yeah. I think there is something about the Banyana, just like the Bafana. They are not the most beautiful team to watch. In fact, there are times where they struggle to get results. But I think they do not concentrate on how well they play or how fantastic they play their football. All they concentrate on is results. And I think today, the Banyana will do everything to move to the next phase. See, there is a reason why for now, they are the biggest competition for the Super Falcons. They are super result-oriented. You might see them wobble and fumble, struggle and all of that, but they will get past that phase and then they'll move on, just like the men are doing. They seem like they are locked in on, understanding what competitions are about. It's not the team that play the finest game that moves to the next phase. It's about the team that gets the best results. And today against Mali, I'm having a feeling they'll just continue that run. And some of our competition will still be there for us to worry about. So already we have Zambia in front of us, huge worry. And I think when Banyana concludes today, they would be the second worry. Yes, there are some other fantastic teams. There's still Morocco, India, and all of that. But I think Banyana are another worry. And yes, but like it is said, as a Nigerian, if a Banyana gets eliminated, it's fantastic results for us. You just want your biggest rivals. Yes, you want your biggest rivals to, get to be out of the way. So, good luck to them, but also hard luck to them.
I see what you did. Good luck to them, or hard luck to them. In the same breath, I see what you did there, Kenny. All right, good luck to everyone who's involved. Well, more good luck to the Super Falcons, Sha, because I mean, they
Yeah.
are our very own. Now, let's switch gears for now and talk about what went down at the All England Club, talking about Wimbledon and Yannick Sinner, the Sinner, as we tend to call him on this show, said the emotional pain of his French Open collapse against Carlos Alcaraz inspired Sunday's Wimbledon final victory against his arch rival. That I mean,
Yeah.
I think after Sinner was able to dispatch Novak Djokovic, of course, we had spoken about what could possibly go down in that match. Bearing in mind, Sinner had the elbow injury, Djokovic was 100% as well, and we're talking about the possibility of if Sinner not being at 100% will find it difficult to get past Novak. He pulled that off.
Yeah.
He then got to the final, probably still not 100%, and was able to also dispatch Carlos Alcaraz. I mean, brilliant performance by Yannick Sinner there to come out tops at the All England Club.
Yeah. Um, if you're close to me, you will know I've said it time and time again. He plays the finest tennis for me on planet Earth right now. Yannick Sinner is the man to beat. I have huge respect for Carlos Alcaraz, but there is no touching Yannick Sinner. I don't care if he loses a Grand Slam or if he loses matches to Carlos Alcaraz, who is world number 2. I feel there is something about watching Yannick Sinner. It's like the time where you watch Rafael Nadal and also Roger Federer. Yes, Rafael Nadal was fantastic, phenomenal, but there is always something special in watching Roger Federer does what he knows how to do best. And I think that's the story of Yannick Sinner. And I understood not just losing Roland Garros to Carlos Alcaraz, he had lost the last 3 finals to the last 3 games, which had 3 finals in it, to Carlos Alcaraz. That tells you that psychologically, aside physically, psychologically, you're battered. See, Ayomiko, when you play or fight somebody that taking you out twice, thrice already in that fourth or the next game, you're 50% out.
Because your
Because the moment
mind,
you Yes, because the moment you start to doubt yourself, the opponent have got advantage. And I think that's what happened. But because he's somebody who keeps his cool under all of the pressure that you can
right.
think of. Something like what Novak would do, something like what Roger Federer would do. I think that was what saw him through. And you see, he lost the first set 6-4, and it looked like, it's about to go down. But he chilled. It showed dug deep and then took it, set after set, took the
Yeah.
next set 6-4, then the next one 6-4, and then finished off with a 6-4. It's way tougher than just saying 6-4, 6-4, 6-4. In fact, in Roland Garros, he went 2 sets up and still lost, even with 3 championship, points, and he still
Yeah.
went on to lose. That's how good Alcaraz has been, and also how Carlos has been a top challenge for Yannick Sinner. But like I've said, I think he's shown through the kind of class that Yannick Sinner have got. Fantastic young man. For the past 1 year thereabouts, he's been slowed down since the whole doping issue, popped up, where he's been investigated and all. And I think we saw in that period where he went for different tournaments, like going to F1, going to watch some football match. He just wanted to take his mind off a lot of things that has to do with tennis. And I think maybe that helped to refresh, the young man, and he's back into playing. The first Italian, to do it when it comes to,
Right. Right.
male
Right.
single, also stopping a 24-match winning streak of Carlos Alcaraz. I think this is already something in the Carlos and also Yannick Sinner. Hopefully, as a proper tennis lover, staunch lover, we want to see this competition go on. We love the Roger Federer Nadal period, and then came Novak Djokovic. We had the 3 top men, and then a touch of Andy Murray somewhere, in that mix. So we loved that period and want to see more. Probably we would have some other top names stepping up, maybe the likes of Andrei Rublev, maybe Ben Shelton. I want to see those names, pop up, because we love
Yeah.
competition. And the men's tennis has been driven by some names. It has always been. We have this either
Yeah. a particular group.
Quartets, yes, yes, always. And then we have some other persons who is trying to get into that mix. And I think that made it, lovely, which is different from what the women serves us. So a fantastic one from Yannick Sinner. And I must say,
Right.
when he said the emotional pain, really drove him, I think you could understand where that young man is coming from, and well deserved. One of the
Yes,
finest
indeed.
Grand Slams, in the calendar, Wimbledon. Yes, you dress like schoolboys and schoolgirls, but it makes it all beautiful.
Yes, indeed. Congratulations to Yannick Sinner on his
Yeah.
win. We'll talk about the women's side on the other side of a very quick break here. When we come back, we'll
Okay.
talk about Iga Swiatek and how she was able to completely obliterate her
Fantastic
opponent
woman.
in that final. We'll be back on the other side. Keep it tuned to the
Yeah.
locker room. Smooth 98.1. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. So when we come back in, we'll touch on the women's side briefly, then enter the Club World Cup. And
Okay.
Ayokunmi, not Ayokunmi. People tend to,
Oh, Ayokunmi. Yeah. Sorry.
I didn't want to say anything on there, so I just said,
Yeah.
if you see the number of comments on YouTube, like, where is Tega? She must come and talk about it because on Friday they were talking about the Chelsea, PSG.
Oh, so it felt like she ran away.
The,
You can you
if
can't run. Come and stay here.
if anything, Tega doesn't run from anything. If I know anything about, she doesn't run,
Yeah,
you
of
know.
course, of course.
But I mean, that game surprised a
Uh,
lot of people.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I
Like
mean,
it's not the Chelsea even winning. It's the manner.
it's the manner of the win. They made PSG look so
That's
ordinary.
so super ordinary. And I think there was a pointer from the Botafogo game, but so many of us did not really. We thought it was a fluke. Botafogo exposed them to a bit, but nobody really took advantage of that. Chelsea did that homework.
Maresca, Maresca
When,
did
when
the
you when you close down the fullbacks, you make sure the fullbacks, that's Ashraf and Mendes, do not get
Mendes
to do any work. That problem starts from there.
because I was like
Fantastic,
three
fantastic from Maresca.
3-0
Although,
halftime. What's happened?
although Ayokunmi, do you know that in the US they always feel Europeans are mad for making a final one-off? Americans believe in best of three, best
That's
of
been a
five, best
series.
of seven. Yes, because you could have a fluke day. If PSG plays Chelsea again, I'm sure Chelsea will not win.
Mm. Or,
Yeah,
or or maybe not win as convincingly.
as
Probably
convincing. Exactly.
it could go another way entirely.
Exactly. The Americans believe if I beat you 4 games, then I'm better than you. That's best of seven. If I beat you 3 games, then I'm better than you. That's best of five.
I mean, there's a kind of argument to be had there because sometimes a team could be brilliant group stage, quarters, semis, and get to
Yeah,
the final. Then the game where it matters the
it's
most, something else goes wrong.
yes. It's a one-off. It's a one-off.
Oh well. All right, let's
Yeah.
dive back in. All right, welcome back into the locker room right here on the Smooth Breakfast. This is Smooth 98.1. We love music, we love life. We love sports as well. And that's why we do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:15. You keep it locked. We bring you all the sporting news, information, analysis, banter, everything in between. And you also get to be a part of the show. We love to hear from you. So you can join us on WhatsApp and on YouTube. The WhatsApp number is 0809 440 981. YouTube, you can plant your front row seats at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Speaking of YouTube, a couple of messages. I'll get back to that, but I'm being joined this morning by Kenny Idris. Mr. Deep is diving deep into the sporting stories, if you know what I mean. Kenny, thank you for keeping it tuned and, of course, making this a fun Monday
Exactly.
point. Let me take some comments on YouTube. Adinik Adilea says, "Ha,
Okay.
where is Tega now? I'm a Chelsea fan. Oh, I'm waiting for her comments." LK Aderogba says, "I want Tega to take back her word that either PSG or Madrid will have Chelsea numbers in the final. I said never ever underestimate Chelsea. in a final.
Hmm.
And Uchenna Nwoko says, Sinner wins. Happy for him after the drama in Roland Garros. Chelsea, what a display. Totally demystified the PSG play. Sad for PSG, though. A wrong time to lose. Cole Palmer changed the narrative. Yes, indeed, he did. And, before we dive into that story, I will have to say, Chelsea, congratulations to Chelsea. Big ups. Big ups to them. I mean, yes, I love to throw banter around, but I also need to say the truth where the truth needs to be said. Chelsea is the World Cup final, and we're able to demystify PSG.
That's the English. That's the word.
It was a total, complete annihilation, a blowout, if I can put it that way. And Kenny, can you just give us an idea of how this all went? What went wrong for PSG? What went right for Chelsea?
I think it was homework. I do say during the Wenger days at Arsenal, Wenger concentrates more on his ability than watching the other team's ability and try to nullify it. That was what Luis Enrique did. I've got my abilities and I'll go with my abilities that had worked. You can't blame him, it had worked for a while. Chelsea watched PSG very closely, probably watched the Botafogo game, which is the only game, they lost, the only goal they've conceded in recent time, and they really saw where the frailties are. And I think it's simple. Just like the era where Liverpool were high flying, make Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson weak, and you've already slowed down Liverpool. And I think that was what happened yesterday. Hakimi and also Mendes were properly slowed down, and I think that was where the problem started. The moment they got that right, it was all to do for Chelsea. And then in games like this, conversion matters. The moment you have your chances, make it count. And Chelsea did that. For every move, it felt like they were proper threats, and PSG, just watched on. See, when the second goal hit PSG, it felt like everything has scattered that has to do with their plan. And they struggled to grab onto their plan until the 90th minute, and then the extra time, the additional time, and then the final whistle was blown. So Chelsea, good homework done, fantastic, and dropping Reece James into the midfield to also battle the midfield. I think that was a masterclass idea from the man himself, Enzo Maresca. He knew the strength of PSG is Fabian, João Neves, and also Vitinha, but put bodies in there to slow them down, and he did that. So you did the fullbacks assignment, you also did the midfield assignment. Hey, there is nothing Kvaratskhelia. I've seen Kvaratskhelia getting slowed down a lot of times against Arsenal. We saw him, how Jurgen Timber could really take him out and all of that. So Desiree Douye, sometimes I feel nobody should come for me. Desiree Douye's final decisions can be very faulty. I think out of 10, you would have 40 final decisions in 6, and then, probably make 3 or 4, count. So, but there are no supplies, no midfield supply, no fullback supply. The problem really, really showed. And Chelsea, you just must give them their flowers for this. I think that was a proper masterclass. Everything on the table of Enzo Maresca. If I do not have his respect before, I think after this game, he has earned my respect.
Yes, indeed. I mean, coming into that Chelsea team, putting things together, winning the Conference League, guiding Chelsea to a top 4 finish, now winning the Club World Cup. Now looking forward to next season. Should their neighbors in North London be quaking in their boots? Because it seems like Maresca is putting together a team that can realistically challenge Liverpool for the Premier League title, which Arsenal have been looking for desperately.
I've said it time and time again that Chelsea are assembling something. I said it like two seasons ago. All of these young players, it is okay to fail sometimes. It is okay to be down and then continue to pick the scraps one by one, continue to build. And I think that's what Chelsea is doing. Don't bother yourself about 1 season or 2 seasons of not doing spectacular. if you're heading somewhere. And I saw it with the kind of young players that are assembling, let them gather experience and then come into their own. By the time they are entering 24, which will say between 24 and 28, 29, that's when you play your best football. By the time they are hitting 23, 24, they are super experienced and then getting into the best part of their football. Look, from their captain, you can tell what they are doing. Their captain is so young, talking about Reece James, but he's super efficient. And I think that's what Chelsea is doing. And like somebody said from the comment you read, do not underestimate Chelsea when it comes to playing finals. And yes, they played 30 finals since 1997. And Chelsea has won 19 of those finals. That is, we've lost 11 of 30 since 1997. Does that not tell you a story? Probably. Maybe only Real Madrid have got better record to that. But I don't also always rate the Madrid-Barcelona setup in Spain. They hardly get challenged. If it's not Barcelona, if any of the two are to play any other Spanish team, it's like a go for them. But in England, anybody could challenge you, and I think Chelsea has done so well, in that run, and it just continues. If Arsenal continues this fumbling, I said it to some people in my office, that Chelsea will get back to their winning ways and win the league again before Arsenal gets to win. As much as Arsenal has been this close, they'll understand that they are this far. So Chelsea, are one of those teams that you can beat your chest. They are a very cultured team, very dogged, and understand what it means. I say they are a proper competition team. Chelsea gets into competition, never write them off. Never until that game, they get to be housed. If they don't get housed, never write Chelsea off. And I think they proved that yesterday. But the manner at which they handled, PSG, I think that should be studied again. That should be studied. Before you could say Jack Robinson, it was gone. It was gone. PSG, yes, Sanchez had a lot of saves to do, but PSG didn't really look like they were a threat to Chelsea yesterday. I'm sure, the listener and also you, Ayo, also, did see that. It wasn't like PSG really pushed Chelsea at any point. It was, chances here and there, just pick it one after the other. Chelsea looked like the in thing all the way. If that had been PSG, would have said, this is what we thought was going to happen. Nobody saw it coming. That is what football could give you. Like we always say, if you think you know football, you just need to watch more football.
Correct approach. All right. Let's very quickly talk about Victor Gyökeres. Sporting President Federico Varandas has warned that the striker will be fined and asked to apologize to his squad after failing to turn up for preseason training on time amid reports of a move away from the Portuguese club. Looks like Gyökeres is trying to force that move to Arsenal, and Sporting are really not having it in that sense. Can you just quickly run through this one because of time?
Yeah, I think this reminds me of Arshavin. Yes, when he wanted to leave the Russian club, he took pay cuts, went absent, and all of that. And I think that's what Gyökeres. See, when Taye Taiwo wanted to leave Marseille and then he was being blocked by the club, one of the club greats said, when a player has been a good servant to you, whenever they want to leave, why not allow them leave? Why make it so tough? I understand Sporting are also in there for the business, but also, the player has shown that even if he stays, it won't be 100% for you. So probably start talking. But I love what the president has said. Make it clear that there is no player that is bigger, than the club. The club comes first, and maybe Gyökeres wanted this so much, and he doesn't care what happens, whether there is fine, there is punishment. If he was, after some couple of days, I'll be wearing the red and the white. I wish him all the best. Hopefully, if he pushes this and it goes through, it will be El Dorado for him when he gets to Arsenal. Because as Sporting, he has carved the need for himself, and he's a cult hero there.
Yes, indeed. And he has 3 years left on his contract. Like you said, Sporting are also in it for the business. So it's going to be interesting how that plays out. All right, Kenny, before we wrap this up, I had mentioned earlier, I apologize to everyone, that we're going to talk about what happened on the women's side in Wimbledon. Of course, we
Yeah,
talk about the WTA as the wild, wild west because anybody can beat anybody on that side
exactly.
of the draw. And Iga Swiatek, she completely
Yeah,
demolished Amanda Anisimova 6-love, 6-love in what has been touted as the most one-sided women's Wimbledon final for 114 years. That was
yeah.
a brutal beating. Kenny,
Yeah.
wrap it up.
Since since 1911. And in 1911, it's super understandable because it was an English woman who did that. That's Dorothy Lambert. So you can
Yeah.
say she's on home soil. She had the home backing. Everything was working for her. She understands the center court so well. But this is a Polish woman who is doing it, for the first time, and also the first Polish, whether male or female, to have done that. But there is also history with Iga Swiatek. After the period where we had Maria Sharapova and then we had Serena Williams,
Mm,
fantastic competition, and then we had world number ones who were super reliable. Mind you, the women's category are never stable. Anybody beats
yeah.
anybody. In fact, they are so disrespectful to each other. And then after that period, we now had Ashley Barty, the Australian, coming in. Ashley Barty was sweet. She was a fantastic world number one. We loved that. In fact, 114 days being number one, the fourth best in the history, of the game for women. And then Ashley
Mm,
Barty all of a sudden called her retirement. And we're like, Ashley, we're just starting to get into groove with you. And then we're looking forward to who will be the next, figure for women's tennis. And then came Iga Swiatek. Iga Swiatek, God bless you for everything you had done. Fantastic. She stepped in when we thought it was going to take long. And then after a while, it seemed like she fizzled out. Also, she had doping issues, and then that
right,
slowed her
right.
down. But yesterday, on Saturday, Iga Swiatek reminded us of how good she can be. 6-love, 6-love. I think that's crazy. Trust me, she is now world number 8. She's going to step up, but not just stepping up. Now the likes of Arina Sabalenka, Coco Gauff, and all of that should start looking at the lady coming back for our world number 1.
Yes, indeed. And Iga Swiatek is just one win away from completing a career Grand Slam. She has
Yeah,
Roland Garros, Czech, US Open now, Wimbledon, just Australian Open remaining for her to complete the set.
exactly.
Brilliant stuff. All right, let me take messages. This one is Maiwa from Ikeja says, Jokeres is on his way to London for medicals, according to Fabrizio Romano. Well,
Yeah,
until we
we heard
see
that.
what we heard, but until we see Sha, you know,
Exactly.
it's one thing
It's
to say,
not
one
here
thing
we
to
go
say.
yet.
Exactly. This one is coming in from who is talking to us here? Is this Anthony? He says, so Tega ran away to avoid banter. If there's one thing about Tega that you probably do know, she doesn't run away from anything. If she's not here, there's a very good reason for her not being here. Tayo says, Mission X for Super Falcons is beginning to look like to look like my ex with this kind of performance. Chelsea have so much earnings to pay fines and sign extra players. Maresca showed Enrique, international Pepe, that he's choking Pedro. Ayo, are you clapping for Chelsea? Do it again. Sorry, Tayo, once is enough. Um, Ayafeda says Chelsea literally blew PSG's back out. They did, though. They're probably walking with sticks this morning. Another one here says Eucharist's agent's already in London as the deal is agreed. His agent fees have been waived and an agreement for 63 million euros and 10 million euros in add-ons already settled. Here we go. It is.
63.5.
Okay, 63.5. Okay, well.
Yeah.
Well, let's see
And then
how
and then 10 million add-ons.
in add-ons. All right, let
Yeah.
me just quickly run through the ones messages on YouTube. This Iron Fedada says, seems like we might have to revisit Ousmane Dembele's Ballon d'Or chances after last night's horrible display at the FIFA Club World Cup final. Lamine Yamal is back in the conversation.
I've
Padre
never
Payo says,
believed I've never believed Osman was worthy of a Ballon d'Or winner. Never believed it.
well, the PR machine has been rolling,
I
seriously.
think Lamine plays the best football on planet Earth now.
Mm. Padre Payo says, meanwhile, having the American president present at the final gives the competition legitimacy. Does it? Does it really? Does it?
What legitimacy? He's just here to share part of the glory.
Mm.
The competition has been beautiful.
Yes, indeed. Samson said Chelsea played with no pressure yesterday. PSG mentality was bad. And with Palmer being hot at the right time, it just played to their advantage. And Raphael says Chelsea changed PSG to GPS yesterday. People have bad mouth. Anyways, we need to call it a morning. Thank you for all the messages, and thank you so much, Kehinde Idris, aka Mr. Deep, for joining me this morning on the locker room. It's been an amazing time having you on the radio.
Of course. Looking forward to joining you again, whenever next. It was an amazing show. Thank you.
All right. Have a great Wednesday. Have a great Monday. I'm looking forward to seeing you later on in the week. And Lagos, thank you so very much for being a part of the show and keeping it tuned. Don't go anywhere. The Smooth Breakfast will kick on, and it's going to be all about great conversation at 9 o'clock on Lagos Talks. And that's